guys, it's Heather here of the Lit Sisters, and today I am going to do my February TBR and new releases video. So let's start off with the new releases for February of 2016. So this book is already out. It came out on February 1st, and it is called Borrowed Magic by Sherry Lambert. And this book is about a land where this land has been in a 3-year siege under this dark mage. And this dark mage has finally died. And it's back to normal for everybody except for this girl named Marin. And what happened was, before the dark mage died, he apparently left a little bit of magic in her. And this magic has unexpectedly triggered itself inside of her. And so now she is like, her ability is like she can see the truth of any situation. So like, I guess if you say something to her, she can see through the lie and know what the actual truth is, or like even in people's appearances, it seems like she can see through the truth of that. And this magic is also making her ill. It's killing her. And so she has to find help, and she's also sensed that another dark mage has arisen somewhere, so she's trying to find someone to help her. And the only person that she can find to help her is, of course, person she used to love, and it also is the dark mage who just fell as his son. And so they have to together figure this whole thing out. I thought it sounded pretty interesting, so I put it on my new release to talk about. The next one I want to talk about is Stars Above by Marissa Myers, and it came out on the 2nd. It is available now. I have it. I've read the first short story. I haven't read any more of it, so I'm not finished with it yet, so no spoilers in the comments. But it is a collection of short stories that are prequels and epilogues to the Lunar Chronicles series. And I'm really excited to read it. I loved the Lunar Chronicles so much. It was such a good series. I got so deep into the world, so involved in it, and I was so glad we were going to get some more stories in this world to kind of stay in that imaginary place a little longer. The next book that's coming out, and it came out on February 2nd, it's already available, is Starflight by Melissa Landers. And it follows a girl named Solara. She's just out of an orphanage, and she's looking to get a fresh start. And she's willing to do just about anything. And so what she does is she ends up indenturing herself to service to this guy named Doran Spalding, who in high school was really mean to her, kind of was like her enemy in high school. But he has a ship that she can get on to get away and go get a fresh new start. But it ends up Doran is being accused of a murder he didn't commit, so together they kind of end up having to go out and figure out who's framing him for this murder and kind of solve this whole mystery together. So I thought that also sounded kind of riveting, and it says Starflight number 1, so I'm thinking it's the first book in an upcoming series. So I'm really excited to read it. I love myself a good series. The next book I want to talk about is The Shadow Queen by C.J. Redwine. And this is going to come out on February 16th. And it is a retelling of Snow White. Snow White's character is called Lorelei Deirdre. And she is a crown princess, but she's also a fugitive, and she's out to destroy the evil queen. And in the neighboring country, Prince Cole's father and older brother have just been killed, which leaves him in charge. And he's willing to do anything to save his country, including lining up with the evil queen and becoming his huntsman. So that's kind of like the whole twist on it. And the huntsman, it says here, the huntsman goes and the princess isn't what he expected, and I'm assuming it's just going to turn into a big war, sort of, to get the crown back. But this also says number 1, so I'm assuming this is the beginning of a series. So we've got some starts of some upcoming series coming out this month. And the last book I want to talk about, possibly the most interesting sounding one to me at least, is The Forbidden Wish by Jessica Corey. And it is coming out on February 23rd, and it is a retelling of Aladdin, which you don't really hear about too often, I guess. At least I don't. So I thought that was really intriguing, but it's like from the genie's perspective. Aladdin finds this genie, her name is Zahara, he finds her a lamp, but he takes her into a time where magic and her powers are completely illegal. And so she's trying to find a way to be free, but she's also starting to develop feelings for Aladdin, and it just follows this whole tale of, you know, how to help his time and Aladdin and how to find her freedom. And I'm excited to read it, mostly because it's an Aladdin retelling, and I've never read an Aladdin retelling, and I love the cartoon. So I think it'll be good. I'm excited. And that is all of the new releases that I have to talk about for now. And for my TBR, so I'm gonna have to kind of redo my TBR because I feel like I always set myself up for failure. So my TBR list is not necessarily going to be books that I'm reading that month, but books that I'm adding to the list of I must read this very soon. If you understand what I'm saying. Because I always am like, oh, I'm going to read these books this month, and then I end up reading completely different books that month. So I'm trying to make it easier on myself, not as much pressure to read such specific books, because I read very much based on emotion. So, like, if I'm feeling a certain book, I'll read it, but, you know, sometimes I go to pick up a book I put on my list, and I'm just not into it, and it puts me in a reading dry spell. So that's how my TBRs are going to work. They're more just going to be books to read soon, but not necessarily that month. So let's get into my TBR. So the first book I'm going to read for February is Heir of Fire. I'm already halfway through it. I'm getting super into it. I need to know what happens. I'm excited to read the one after it to continue to know what happens. This always happens to me. I'll set it down and kind of leave the world, and then I come back to it, and then I'm just like hooked. I need to know what's going on in Selena Sardathian's world. Anyway, so Heir of Fire, first book to read. The next book on my TBR for this month is Mystic River. This is my book club that I'm a part of. This is the book club book for this month, so I'm definitely going to be reading this one. I've never seen the movie, and I don't really know anything about this book other than that it's a mystery, and it's gotten a lot of praise. So it'll probably be really good, and I'm excited to read it. Next on my TBR is Unhinged, because, well, it was the book for my TBR jar challenge for last month, and I never got to it, so that is one thing I am going to try and stick to rigidly, is following my TBR jar challenge. So I didn't finish it last month, I gotta try and finish it this month. The next book I'm putting on my TBR is Stars Above by Marissa Meyer. It is a collection of short stories in the Lunar Chronicles world. There are some that take place before the Lunar Chronicles, some that take place during, and some that take place after. And I'm really excited to read it. I love the Lunar Chronicles. I'm excited to get back into that world and see what all these characters are about. And that is all the more I'm going to add to my TBR for this month, but I do need to do my TBR jar challenge, so read a book you know nothing about. And I'm gonna kind of mush one that's already on my list, but I'm gonna put Mystic River on there, because I don't know anything about it, other than that it's a mystery. That's it. So there you go. Mystic River is my TBR jar challenge for this month. That will conclude my new releases and TBR video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and please go and subscribe to our channel, The Lit Sisters. We put out 2 videos every week generally. My sister puts one out on Wednesdays, and I put one out on Fridays. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and until next time, happy reading!